You're listening to AI PRISM from Seoul Economic Daily.
It's Monday, May 18. I'd like to share some thoughts about CEOs. If you think your job is tough, just imagine sitting in a Korean C-suite right now.
Oh, yeah. It is not an easy spot to be in.
Right. You're getting squeezed from basically three different sides. Your workforce wants permanently higher payouts. Your global supply chain is, a geopolitical minefield. And the capital you actually need to fix those problems is suddenly getting very expensive.
Yeah, let's actually start with that human element, because that's huge right now.
It is. Samsung Electronics is facing this really unprecedented general strike threat. Chairman Lee Jae-yong even had to cut short an overseas trip just to issue a very public apology. And this whole fight is over the OPI bonus.
Right, the excess profit incentive. It's Samsung's internal profit-sharing mechanism.
Which makes sense in theory, right? But here is where the union's demand made me do a double take. They want a fixed 15% of the operating profit.
Wow.
Yeah, that translates to roughly 45 trillion won, or about 32 billion US dollars.
That is, that's a staggering number.
Exactly. I get that workers want their fair share, especially after the good years, but from a strategic perspective, that's like locking in a massive permanent mortgage payment that just completely ignores your actual income fluctuations. Like, what happens when the semiconductor cycle inevitably dips?
Well, you bleed cash. It's that simple. When you permanently institutionalize a fixed percentage like that, you strip management of its capital allocation flexibility.
Right, because the money's already spoken for.
Exactly. If the chip market tanks, you still have this massive fixed payout, meaning you can't redirect that money into the crucial research and development you need to survive the downturn.
Wow.
And the economic stakes are actually so severe here that the government is floating an emergency adjustment.
Wait, meaning they step in legally?
Yes. So an emergency adjustment is this legal power to suspend a strike for 30 days and force compulsory arbitration.
Ah, I see.
Because if Samsung caves and accepts a fixed profit mandate, it sets this massive, inescapable precedent for every other cable, Korea's family-controlled conglomerate groups.
Okay, so if Samsung is locked in this intense battle over financial flexibility, how do you handle the sheer physical unpredictability of running a global business right now?
Right. It's a completely different challenge.
Yeah. And that brings us to LG Electronics. They're basically trying to engineer their way out of geopolitical shocks. By 2030, LG plans to convert 29 of their global factories into AI smart factories.
Yeah, and the core tech making that possible is a digital twin.
Right. And just to clarify for everyone, a digital twin is basically a virtual factory replica used for simulation, right? Powered by NVIDIA.
That's right. And that is where the real C-suite value lies.
But walk me through how a supply chain team actually uses this in the real world.
Think about tariff risk management. Let's say U.S.-China trade tensions flare up overnight and a new tariff hits.
Which happens all the time.
Exactly. Instead of panicking and physically moving shipping containers around to see what works, your team just logs into the software. You simulate shifting your production from China to, say, Vietnam or maybe Mexico.
Oh, wow. So you see the impact immediately.
Instantly. The digital twin calculates the logistics, the costs, the output. You model your geopolitical risk in software before it ever touches your physical hardware.
That's a massive advantage. But wait, is LG just building this to save their own margins? Because I noticed they already have an order backlog of 500 billion won, which is about 357 million US dollars, selling this exact smart factory solution to other manufacturers.
It's a brilliant double play. They're solving their own supply chain headaches while commercializing the cure.
Incredible.
But there is a catch. Engineering that level of physical flexibility requires serious capital. And right now, the debt market is squeezing corporate treasuries hard.
Which perfectly explains the latest bond numbers. Korean corporate bond issuance just dropped 16.5% year on year. It landed at roughly 50 trillion won, or 35.7 billion US dollars.
It's a significant drop.
Why the sudden freeze, though? Is it just high rates?
Exactly. Borrowing costs are surging. Money just isn't cheap anymore. What we're seeing is a preemptive issuance rush from giants like LG. They're rushing to issue bonds and hoard cash now before rates climb even higher.
But if the massive conglomerates are hoarding all the available cash, crowding the debt markets, what happens to their smaller partners? I'd imagine the collateral damage is pretty severe.
It is. And this is the hidden operational risk CFOs are losing sleep over right now. SME supplier credit stress.
Oh, so the small, medium enterprises.
Right. They are struggling to get affordable loans, and their non-performing loans are rising fast. If you're a CFO, a financially stressed supplier isn't just a sad story, it's a direct operational crisis.
Because if your part supplier goes insolvent, your billion-dollar AI factory has nothing to build.
Exactly. Today, you have to monitor your supply chain's balance sheet as aggressively as your own.
Okay, so looking at this trilemma, inflexible labor, volatile supply chains, and expensive capital.
It leaves you with a really provocative question to ponder. With capital getting so expensive and labor demanding permanently fixed cuts, will AI-driven physical automation become the ultimate C-suite hedge against human and financial unpredictability?
That's today's AI PRISM CEOs. This episode was produced with AI assistance based on Seoul Economic Daily reporting and reviewed by a human editor. AI PRISM is a One-Ifra award-winning series. We'll be back tomorrow.
You've been listening to AI PRISM from Seoul Economic Daily.